Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 114th episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. Okay, this is a movie channel, and I love movies probably more than you. I also love competition, so awards season for me is one of my favorite times of the year. We go over it, talk about the noms and the movies, and celebrate. Well, this year, we've been doing that, yes, but there's been a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Now, this video isn't about any one specific thing. We just got to talk about it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there is a little of it all. I must say, though, this is one of the most interesting awards seasons I can ever remember. So go ahead, do me that favor, like and subscribe. It helps me out. I'm trying to hit 700 subs by the end of spring. And make sure you follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. It's linked below. So let's chat about this award season so far. Okay, so I know anyone who actually cares is probably having a very interesting time this awards race. It started off one way, and man, have we gone left. Pretty much all of my predictions have changed for the Oscars since the start of the season, and they will likely change again before it comes. So I'm not making my Oscar prediction video for another couple weeks, so make sure you're looking out for that video, and I'm getting them all right this year. But seriously, we are living in an interesting time where the internet dictates almost everything we do and shapes how we think and feel. Imagine going through the award seasons in the early 90s before YouTube and Twitter, formerly known as X. You just had to watch and guess. Or did people just say whatever? We'll see when it comes. Someone who was watching back then, let me know in the comments how it went down back in the day. Can you guys remember a year with this much drama and suspense? Did you guys even care or follow it? I'm curious because I'm just a film nerd with a million questions, and really, I don't have any answers. I have no answers on why people do the things they do, say the things they say, or feel the way they feel. But I do know everyone and their great uncle has an opinion, and I'm no exception. Now, at the time of writing this, the only movies I haven't seen for this award season players are Nickel Boys, which I'll be seeing next week, and I'm Still Here, which I may go on a killing rampage if I don't see soon. I need it, and for many reasons. In my heart of hearts, I believe Fernanda Torres is Demi Moore's biggest threat to not win the Oscar. I need to know if she's as good as I know she is. And should I be afraid that Demi Moore isn't going to win for The Substance? If you've seen either of those, give me your opinions on them, please. Don't spoil them. But I've seen everything else, so I can chat about those. I've even watched everyone's favorite movie, maybe one of the best ever made, Amelia Perez. Yes, it's the best movie ever. Now, obviously, I'm kidding, but man, what a fuss this movie has caused in so many ways. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So, 2024 was, in my opinion, a pretty good year for film. I think I was more into 2023, but that doesn't mean we didn't get a lot of good movies, even a few great ones. I made a favorites of 2024 video, but that shit is outdated now because I changed almost everything about it. But the big standouts for me were The Substance, Dune 2, Challengers, Wicked, The Wild Robot, Kinds of Kindness, The Brutalist, Transformers 1, Terrifier 3, Conclave, Love Lies Bleeding, and The Beast. Just off the top of my head. We had a decent amount of genre films that did well, which is still new, and it looks like the future of the award season will be changing. There's been much more love for international film, and the voting bodies have become younger and more diverse. I mean, yes, we still got some of the standard Oscar bait movies we get every year, but when you got a film like The Substance up for Best Picture, this tells you the times are changing, and for the better. Terrifier 4 will be up for Best Picture when it drops. I'm just kidding. But people saying movies aren't good anymore and claiming that the industry is dying. I don't know. It may be true that the industry is dying, but I don't think movies suck. I think they are quite alive and only going to continue to get better as we put the pandemic further in our rear view. Horror probably had its biggest year in like 10 years, bringing the big box office and some of the actors getting recognition for their work this award season. Crazy how horror is just now getting its due diligence. After Hereditary, they knew they had to buck up. Sean Baker has finally been recognized by his peers for his work. Demi Moore is winning all over the place. And the best thing, this late in the game, we still don't have all the big winners locked up. There will be some shocks on Oscar night, trust me. There's actually some intrigue this season, whereas last season, I think the only shocker was Emma Stone winning Best Actress, and that wasn't even that much of a shocker. Now, it isn't all good, right? I mean, we've had some stuff go on, and honestly, I think it's mostly tied to one movie. We've got a couple controversies in some of the movies. People making the Brutalist out to be a fraud because they use a little bit of AI to authenticate an accent, which, in my opinion, is respectful to the people who speak the language. People tripping over Honora because they didn't have an intimacy coach. These are professionals and adults. I think they can handle this stuff. The internet has given everyone a voice, and it's never been more apparent than this award season. It doesn't matter who you want to win in a field of movies that are all good for the most part. If you want Demi or Mikey, Brody or Chalamet, Honora or Dune, all the choices are good for the most part. A lot of new names and faces, and some veterans who haven't been recognized before. But I think it's almost criminal that Dune 2 underperformed in almost every category, and Challengers was just completely shut out at the Oscars. Because let's keep it real, all the other precursors are cool, but they are precursors for a reason. The Oscars are the end all be all, and the fact that Denis Villeneuve has yet again not received a Best Director nom is just insane. But we named James Mangold and Jacques Audiard. Speaking of Jacques Audiard, this guy helped us learn a lot this year. His movie showed us what the agenda of these award shows are. It showed us how out of touch these people are and how politics play into absolutely everything. We knew that an Oscar nomination Thursday when we saw Jacques Audiard's Amelia Perez get 13 nominations. One of the most nominated movies of all time. Only a few have got more. Now, I saw this movie when I was still ignorant to the bad language because I don't speak Spanish. But I'm not Mexican or trans. But I was like, ugh, I don't think this is something Mexicans or trans people will like that much. Now, I did say it had a nice look, and I thought the acting was good for the most part, but it felt like it wanted to be a good Almodovar type of movie, but it came out like a glorified melodramatic soap opera with a terrible message at the end and some of the worst music of all time. I couldn't believe the songs. We all know the famous one. Go ahead, sing it in your head. It all felt so weird. When it was over, I was like, okay, well, that was too long, and didn't think much of it. Then award season came around, and everything went haywire with this movie. I was shocked when it won at the Globes over Honora, A Real Pain, and The Substance, and Wicked. Then it got ugly. I don't even think I need to tell you guys about what went down with this movie. I mean, the director was saying stuff about Mexicans, the Spanish language, and a whole bunch of other offensive things. The Mexican community and the trans community were and are very outspoken about how much they hate this movie and how poor of a representation it is to their people. But it seems the Academy just kind of ignored all that and pretty much told us without telling us this movie is going to win Best Picture. Let's keep it all the way real. They pumped up this movie because the Academy wanted to pander to certain groups, thinking it will reach a younger, more inclusive audience. But it backfired. And in turn, pissed everyone off and honestly made people not even want to watch this year. I myself was a little turned off when a movie like Amelia Perez got 13 and Dune barely got any and Challengers got none. Are you kidding? I still was hopeful for it to crash and burn. And it did, but not in the way I was expecting. The lead, Carl Sofia Gascon, got exposed for a bunch of old tweets that were just crazy, man. I mean, I was shocked, to be honest, that she had some of these views, especially being from a marginalized community herself. Then she just said, fuck everyone, and went scorched earth and doubled down and just went rogue. Now, after the smoke was cleared a little bit, I think this had to happen. Let's be honest. If this won Best Picture, this would have been bad for the industry. It would have been a bad day for movies. It could have been the day movies officially died. The spirit, the soul of them. I mean, this would have been the worst Best Picture winner, even more than Crash. I hate that it took this kind of drama and turmoil to save this award season, but something had to stop the real villain who was Amelia Perez. Because just like in the movie, she was not a hero. She was a villain. My opinion of all this, it's all over the place. On one hand, I hate seeing people get canceled. I hate drama, and I hate when we take the focus away from what it's supposed to be on. This is the time to celebrate some of the great movies of the year, make our predictions, and have fun doing it. I hate that we had to actually take the time to talk about this. Then on the other hand, man, I couldn't lie. I was happy this happened because this wasn't going to be good for movies going forward. And this could have been the end of an era as we know it. I mean, the glory days are far behind us, but movies are still alive and kicking, even if they aren't kicking as hard as they once were. So I have been having a lot of fun this award season, and I honestly am glad it's almost over. It's bittersweet, but it's time to start focusing on 2025. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if there's a film or topic you would like me to review. Like and subscribe, help me hit my goal of 700 subs before spring. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. I'll link that below. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. I'll be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.